speedromizer.live/donate. You can also find the donate link below the stream and in chat by typing !donate. All your donations are sent directly to community. And don't forget that there are incentives that you can put that money towards when donating. These are active challenges and polls that let you name file names, have the runners do additional bonus content, or other such things, such as, if I'm not mistaken, puns. And who doesn't love a good pun? This marathon is going on both this weekend, continuing tomorrow as well, and next weekend, where you will see us once again on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, with almost 2 days of speedrunning under our belt, I have to ask chat, what was the coolest speedrunning trick you've seen so far? Personally, I was a huge fan of some of the ridiculous tech that they managed to figure out in Quest for Glory 5 Dragonfire, because that game looked ripe for breaking and they did not disappoint. Does crashing the game count as a trick though? I guess in some games, maybe crashing the game does count as a trick, all depending on how you do it. Now, these events are run by volunteers, and if you would be interested in helping with a future event, we open volunteer signups before all events. These volunteer signups are announced in the Discord, so keep an eye on the server if you're interested. Once again, you can find that at speedromizer.live/discord, and maybe you will be here next time helping us run the show. Most roles also do not require experience, so we would be happy to have you, even if it's your first time. Now, the next run that we have coming up is by runner Intharth. They will be running the game Red Faction, and if they are ready, I'd be happy to throw it their way and let them introduce their run and get it kicked off.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Intharth. I'm going to be running Red Faction. I like the Mirror's Edge run. I was the one that submitted the run, but unfortunately, the runner had to drop out. I think it was due to hardware issues. I don't remember. But either way, I'm here, and in order to sort of keep it within the spirit of Speedromizer and learning something new, it's not technically something new that I've learned, but it is newish to me. I only learned it like 4 months ago. We're doing Pacifist Red Faction. Now, what does that mean? Traditionally, it means not killing anything. We're going to stick to that logic. Something might die, not by my fault, of course, but I'll explain that as we go. We're using a mod to do this, because base game will not allow you to do that. But effectively, I will explain all the changes that this sort of encompasses that matter to the speedrun as we go. The only thing I will mention is I have a red crosshair. That's personal preference. The green one is kind of not fun to use for me. But yeah, all that said, this is Pacifist Red Faction, and time will start when I load in. I use the level load here, so I will go 3, 2, 1, and we are off. Oh shit, no, sorry. That's a false start, because I accidentally hit a button that I wasn't supposed to hit. I'll do it again. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay. So, first thing to note about the Red Faction is that it is a game set on Mars, and we are rebelling against a corrupt mining organization with some weird shenanigans going on. Now, as I said, this is Pacifist, so we will not be killing any enemies, and throughout the run, you're going to see me jumping a lot. It's not faster on flat surfaces, but it is faster on inclines, so going upwards, but it's not faster to go down or normal. Here we're going to pick up a remote charge. Now, why are we picking up remote charges? Well, I'm going to explain something very special about remote charges. Whenever you throw a remote charge, when you pick it back up, it duplicates it. So instead of picking up one, getting one back, you pick one up, you get two back. And the reason we want remote charges for Pacifist Run is it is the most versatile tool in the game. It both can create holes in the world. Now, that's the other thing I have to explain. Red Faction uses Geomod. It is a technology that was made by Volition to create real-time destruction. Or in Red Faction Guerrilla, if you're familiar with that, it relates to destroying buildings. In Red Faction 1, it relates to tunnels and going through level, basically. So, what we are going to use the remote charge for is maybe we'll use it for geoing, we might not, but the important thing to note is with the remote charges, because we can duplicate it, we basically got an infinite supply. We'll never run out. And the reason we want a remote charge when it relates to everything else in the game is it is very good at fear-stating enemies. So like this, you can see that. Oh, that's not great. I'm gonna reload that. But you can fear-state enemies. If it latches onto them, it sticks to them. Some of them, not all of them, but it sticks to them, like you just saw. Otherwise, if it just lands nearby them, they go into a fear state, they run away. We're going to abuse that several times throughout the run. So, the first sort of trick, if you like, coming up is to get a rocket launcher. How do we get a rocket launcher? Because we can't kill anyone, right? So they only drop if they're fear-stated or if they're dead. So what we're going to do is we're going to fear-state this guy right here, get his rocket launcher, and as you can see, he is very much alive as I leave. He may die. He might die. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. If they die by something that is not my fault, are you going to move? Oh my god, he did not move out of the way. That's a risk with this tunnel right here. Yeah, he needs to move out of the way. There we go. So the risk with this is sometimes, in order to get out of the fear state, some of the guards, they will shoot the remote charge, in which case, Your Honor, I plead the fifth, I did not pull the trigger. And from there, if they do that, then it's fine. We basically, the rules of the Pacifist run we decided were, as long as I do not kill them, it's all good. So in this room, what you saw was me jumping down onto a bridge. Now that is the first change of this little speed mod edition versus vanilla. In the vanilla, when you jump down on there, normally you would die unless you destroy the APC that's driving along the bridge first. Whereas in this one, we just decided it's easier for quality of life if we just remove that death trigger and we just carry on. So that's the first change. The reason we jump down there is because this elevator is on a timer, technically speaking. So there is a trigger on the top and the bottom pathway to trigger the elevator to come down. The bottom one is about 3 seconds faster, so we want to be on the bottom pathway, and that just speeds up the elevator. So now, that's the first level completed. That's the mines. So now we're on to barracks. Now barracks is one of the shortest levels in the game. But we are going to have to rely on some shenanigans here to get some guards out of our way. Especially this guy, because he's going to chase us. So we're going to fear state and pick it back up. Now he came back, so we're going to fear state him again. There you go, and he's gone. Just like that. Now normally I would skip this, but because we're a marathon, I'm going to take it nice and safe. Going to pick up some health kits and some armor here. That's the next thing I want to mention is health and armor. So in this game there is a armor, and what that means is damage is reduced as long as you have armor, but also because you're on Mars, the developers thought it would be a good idea to just, you know, you're not in a terraformed environment, so to speak, so when you're outside and your armor is 0, you take damage. This is finicky at best. Sometimes it's implemented, sometimes it isn't. It depends on how they set up the levels when they did it. There's a couple of levels where I think it should be on and it isn't, but we get to that later. So, yeah. So, again, like I said, the other benefit is that it reduces damage from piercing guns like sniper rifles, shotguns, not really shotguns, but HMGs and things like that. So, now we're on to a rather peculiar part of this run, where there's a guy in our way. Now, for whatever reason, when I fear state this guy, his collision just... Okay, it didn't that time, but there we go. It usually breaks, and he just runs around on that little perch there so we can go out. So now I'm going to show you geomod tricks. Now, these strats basically allow us to make our own skips in the run. We're going to create a hole here, and we've skipped the door trigger. A little roundabout walk, basically. Now, that's the beauty of this game, is that when the developers made it, the slogan was "make your own door," and we are going to make so many of our own doors in this run. But we have to get to them first. So here, I'm just going to keep fear stating some guards just to make sure that they are not bothering me and out of my way. And we're going to do another geomod trick here, just to shoot this top corner here and slip down here. And this basically skips an elevator. We jump down to this tunnel, we take the ladder up because the elevator is slower. And now, that's geomod. Now, the other major trick in the game, like any other game, is out of bounds. Now, out of bounds in Red Faction works by save loading against certain corners to get through, like so. And then we can save load again to re-render the world and drop into the next level, or next area, wherever we're going. I'm gonna I'm fear stating the shotgun guy because he does a lot of damage. So now we're gonna do another geomod trick here, and I'll explain. There's an elevator coming up, and I will explain. I cannot get this corner. It's a very rare fail. Okay, there we go. So yeah, basically what I've skipped is about a minute of game time. There is a little scene there where you walk into like a little tube in the middle of the room, and the doors lock, and it's like, oh, you should have been faster as a ship leaves, but then the ship destroys, and then we can carry on, blah blah blah. But we skipped all of that by out of bouncing. Now here, this is a little robot fight, and you're supposed to kill the robot to proceed, but we're just gonna blow our way out of there with geomod. We don't want to deal with a robot, it's slower. You get the picture. So here is a elevator. Now I'm gonna explain the next level a little bit. There's a guard at the bottom here, which the reason we sort of came up with the idea for, you know, as long as you don't pull the trigger, nothing dies, you're fine, is because obviously in games, explosions can do splash damage, and usually speaking, they won't die, so we sort of kept it that way, so that if there is a minor bit of splash damage, nobody gets hurt. But it's so rare, it's more of a failsafe than anything else. So I'm gonna shoot a rocket down here, and he's gonna walk into that. I'm just gonna reload just in case, because I didn't see him in the explosion at all. I didn't know if he died or not, so I'm just being safe and reloading. But yeah, so this is the vents level, and it's technically called Abandoned Mines because it's a pretty crap mine. But we will be going into events soon. So there's a little neat trick there where you can jump out of the water early, and you can sort of scale the wall a bit earlier. It just depends on if you can get a good bit of the wall or not to land on. But yeah, here we are going to be trying to not get shot by a shotgun, and then we're going to yeet this over the ledge there. Just gives us a bit of a second to land without taking any damage. So now there's another bit of a major... It's not a major trick, but it's kind of an annoying one at best. We're going to geomod this little bit of rock here, because we can't geomod the metal. The developers were quite frigid in parts where they put geomod skips, where they allowed the game to be geomodable, and most surfaces can't, but usually speaking rock can. So we have to geomod the rock instead of the metal to get it in. Now I'm standing here. Why am I standing here? Because this guy has health and I'm not allowed to kill him. So I just gotta hope and pray that something hits him and he dies so we can pick up the health. Because as you can see, I took a lot of damage there. There you go. Okay. So now we're in the vents, and we will... Oh crap, I did not mean to lose that. There we go. And we're out of vents. Awesome. So we're heading into the first sort of major, I guess, sequence of the game. It's the geothermal plant. And the geothermal plant, there's a lot of things you need to do. You're gonna turn the lava control, you gotta turn the water control, you gotta blow up some steam pumps, yada yada yada. We don't want to do any of that. We have got both a geomod trick and an out of bounds trick to skip this level. But first, this trick is a little bit nuanced. So here's a door. Now we need guards away from the door, otherwise the door won't shut. So we can't kill them, and fear stating them doesn't work because it's a little weird on which way they run. So we want to get them as far away from the door as possible by pulling them away like that. And then we have to try not take damage here. And open the door like so, and away we go. Thankfully there's a health kit in here. So, geothermal plant. So yeah, this is the first, I guess, sequence, major sequence of the game. It's like the first major part you go to. And the whole purpose of the level is to blow up the geothermal plant. But as I said, we're not going to do this. We're actually very polite revolutionaries. We don't want to blow anything up. We just want to carry on our way, really. I'm going to pick up this health kit, though. There we go. And like I said, so that was the geomod strat to skip walking the whole way around the complex. And this is the out of bounds to skip the required door unlock. And we're going to walk along here, jump, and drop down here. Now we're into a submarine section of the game. And again, this is why splash damage is allowed, because, yeah, it's a little rough. So yeah, moving on to the submarine. Now, I will caution anyone who is averse to screen shakes. If a torpedo hits us while we're in the submarine, there will be a bit of screen shake, so fair warning there. Other than that, if there's anything you want to read, that's me for about 45 seconds.
Well, the game is looking great so far. Once again, you're watching Speedromizer 6. It's a charity marathon with a twist. And if you would like to donate to our charity community, you can visit Tiltify, our Tiltify campaign at Speedromizer Live, speedromizer.live/donate. We got there in the end. You can also find the donate link below the stream and in chat by typing !donate. All your donations are sent directly to community. How we looking?
Yeah, I'm about to hit another out of bounds here. Again, there could be a little bit more screen shake here. That's why I cautioned it, just in case, because I'm going to do an out of bounds to skip some combat here. But yeah, once that's over, the screen shakes will be gone for now. But yeah. So yeah, so something about submarine torpedoes is if I save load, he'll fire another one immediately, so I have to be really quite quick with this, so here's hoping. Here we go. So, a fun fact about this out of bounds is it's the only out of bounds where you can save load and still swim. Normally when you save load, if you're out of bounds and there's a water area, it cancels the water and you can't swim. But I guess, for some reason, because of the submarine maybe, it works. I'm not sure why, but there we go. It allows me to visually see where I'm going. So yeah, that's basically, that counts as the geothermal plant level, so now we're out of there. Now this is the next place where the game differs from the main game. We're supposed to be in stealth going to this level, but stealth is annoyingly forced and both slow, so we're just going to skip that. And we're just going to run through the administrative complex stealth-free, if you like. I did not... Wait, did I save load? I don't know if I did. So yeah, I was meant to do a save load there where we manipulate this guy to leave, but yeah, that did not work. He hit the buttons. There may be a guy in the door here. There is not. Okay, cool. But yeah. So now we're doing the first of, I think, 4 or 5 load warps where we hit a button, we run away, and the level loads around us. This works by portaling, which is the game's rendering technique, loading on a stack, all that good stuff. So that was the first one, and it's very minor strategies, obviously, but here's another one. So we save load to close the door, and we save load to reopen the door because the trigger's a little bit different, and then we're good. Now this is the level where you're supposed to pick up the Deputy Administrator Griffin. Griffin, we like to say, is bad news. He causes us to lose runs, we don't want to be near him, so we're just gonna ignore him, to be honest. He chases us more than we chase him, to be honest. But yeah, we're coming up on another out of bounds. We would need Griffin to exit the level because he has a security clearance for the door. But otherwise, yeah. So we can't really leave without him, but we can if we get out of bounds. There we go. Nice. Nice clean admin out of bound there. Now we are on to the maintenance section of the run. Now, a fun fact about force fields in this game is that most of them don't actually really keep you out very well. I'm going to jump and save load, and we're straight through that force field. It's almost like it wasn't there. And now, we're going to do a quick geomod trick here just to sort of skip opening a button. Pushing a button to open a door. And now here is the out of bounds, which actually works in the inbounds run, because it's not actually out of bounds, because this is a movable object, and basically, it's still inbounds. As you can see on the ground there, we're not out of bounds, so it counts as an inbounds trick, which is the only sort of save load trick like that works as an inbounds trick. So here we're going to do another skip, which basically will allow me to completely evade waiting for the Administrator Griffin and just absolutely demolish this level. We're going to save load in here, and we're going to like squeeze our character out here. We're going to save load, and then we're going to jump all the way into the flying... Oh, okay. That didn't happen. Don't tell anyone, I won't. Land and enter the Asir.
I didn't see anything.
Exactly. You blinked, right? Yeah. But yeah, so this is another... So this is the only part I'm a little worried about, so feel free to take over. This could take me a couple of minutes to get right.
Well, I'm at least going to give you the first try, because that's what it's going to happen on.
We'll see. It's very finicky out of bounds. This is required to do the Pacifist run, because in this level, you can't... There's a level of triggers that you need to do, so you need to kill 4 guards, and then another guard spawns, then you have to kill him, and that triggers you to, like, get out of the Asir. Oh my god, you're a genius! I did it first try!
Congrats, good job.
But I'm still flying for like 30 seconds, so like, you can take it from here.
Sounds good. You're watching Speedromizer 6. We are a charity marathon, and our charity is Community. Community's priority is to ensure that they continue to show up for queer, trans, and two-spirit communities every day. They are leading with stability, continuity, and building trust. That is how they, as a community, can work towards a province where all two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersexual, and asexual people can live free from harm and discrimination.
Right, and that is the end of the scary flying section. So now we are in the... I don't know if this is a mini-boss or if you would call it a full boss, but that's a boss fight right there. But he's a little scary. We don't want to be dealing with him. So instead of that, we're gonna climb up here. We're gonna pick up some more rockets here, because we're gonna be doing a lot of geomod strats in the coming levels. And then we're going to go ahead and avoid this guy as quick as possible. Now the reason I went up there outside of rockets was health, because we're gonna do another out of bounds drop here, and it can be quite damaging, and for the next couple of levels, there's not gonna be any health packs. I do know how to get some, but if I'm not able to work it out, this is the sort of backup I have. Okay, so there we go. Early. There we go. Okay. So we are skipping the boss fight there, which, if you don't know, you have to sort of lure him down into this trash disposal pit, there. And there's a big lava pit down, or fire combustion pit, but, yeah, we're skipping that entirely. Oh, that is very bad health. I'll try one more. No. That was less health. That's worse. Okay, maybe. Okay, this time. There we go. That's better. There we go. Okay, 77 health. We can work with that. So, basically, from here, we are in what the game would like to make another stealth section, but the developers realized that forcing stealth was kind of a bad idea, so they don't actually force the stealth on you. It's optional. You can ignore it, you can interact with it, do what you want. For the purposes of our run, we're just gonna, again, run straight through. It's the medical labs. This is where we're going to meet the primary first half of the game's antagonist. There's a plague sweeping Mars, and there's an evil scientist doctor who's in charge of causing it to happen, and this is like his medical facility. We're gonna meet him, and then we are going to ensue a chase. So what we're going to do is, this door requires a key card to pass through it, but what we're actually going to do is we're just going to go out of bounds on this corner. If it will let me, there we go, we're slowly getting there. And this is like a 10-second time save, just to skip that. Now I said that I don't get much health kits. This guy has a health kit, but I'm not allowed to kill him, so we're going to skip him, but we're going to be really utilizing the fear state here to save our health a little bit more while we run around here. So this guy, and then we're going to get this guy here. Okay, it didn't work on him, but that's fine. Didn't take too much damage. And here's the antagonist, and we're just going to walk away from him. Wow, that never happens. I did the marathon thing. So yeah, so as I mentioned, I picked up rockets. As many rockets as I can carry, because this is the section where Geomod starts to really take off and really showcase its ability. So this is a level with a long walk around. We don't want to do the walk around, we're just going to jump here, and then we're going to jump over here. Now that's the first of 2 skips in this section, which are Geomod. We're going to go into this area. Now there's a swimming section here, and as we all know, water is slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot here, here, and here. And then we're going to jump and platform across. And now, as you can see, the chaser has become the chasee. We are no longer chasing the scientist, he's chasing us. Now here, because I don't have full health, I'm going to be a little careful. You can fall damage cancel off of things like corners and enemies, like an edge bug in the source engine and whatnot. So that's just to prevent taking as much damage as possible, because health is just a little bit out of reach yet. We pick up a flamethrower there. Now we would require the flamethrower in the normal run because it's the fastest weapon to kill things. It does damage 5 frames per second, so it's pretty damn good, but we can't use that, so I have to basically hope this guy doesn't follow me while I save load and cancel damage by dropping in the water and save loading. Seems to be a bug with the base game where if you save load and you hit water, some fun things happens. In the modded version patch called Dash Faction we use to run the game, all that means is we can just save load and it cancels our fall damage. Oh shit. Yeah. So from here, what we did there is another difference between this and vanilla. In vanilla you would have to kill all of those robots to get through the gate, but in this we decided just let us open the gate. It serves nothing to break up the gameplay really there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to equip a riot shield. This hopefully will prevent me from taking too much damage. Now I would use the remote charge fear state for this section, but it's quite clustery, and if I did miss it, I may miss picking it up. I may, you know, and then someone might die, and I wouldn't want that to happen, would I? So from here, what I'm going to do is this gate's going to close. I'm going to geomod into this gate, here, into this wall right here, and then we're going to go through it. And that's kind of it for this section. This is a little walking section. If you want to talk for a minute, I got you.
Sounds good. We are watching Speedromizer 6, Charity Marathon with a twist. What you submit is not always what you run, and I do want to give you a heads up that though you were originally the submitter, the original runner does send you some best regards via the chat, and you're also getting some other love in the chat, so you definitely have some fans.
And appreciate it.
And complimenting your ability to commentary while running this insane game. So this game looks awesome. So very cool. But yeah, Speedromizer, when you submit, it's not always what you run. Accepted runners are randomly assigned a game from someone else, and they have 90 days to learn their respective game. That sounds like an awesome concept to you. Make sure you join our Discord at speedomizer.live/discord.
I want to affirmatively say that the guard shot my remote charge and killed someone. That was not my fault. I didn't shoot him. I was on a different gun at the time, and I watched the explosion happen. So, Your Honor, I did not pull the trigger. This is a little difficult, but yep, there we go. That's a Geomon skip, so that's a really important Geomon skip, actually. Basically, you're supposed to go in the water, swim, get to a submarine bay, grab a submarine, swim to the other side. What we've done is we've skipped that entire section by that single rocket, so huge time save over the course of the run.
You're dead.
But that's the last Geomon strat for now. Here we have a really interesting tunnel. It's ice, so it's slippery, so you're kind of at the mercy of the slippery pattern. Trying new stuff with it, trying to see if bumping into things will help me go faster down it, but here we have another mini-boss fight. Now this mini-boss fight, very, very hard. I really hope I can beat it. It's tough. He spits acid at you, very scary, very scary. Yeah, I hope I can do this boss fight. Hang on, let me see if I can do it. Wow, whew, can't believe I survived that. That's amazing. Wow, awesome. Jokes aside, the developers, the trigger for that thing killing you is so minute on that wall that you can just walk around it and be absolutely fine. Excuse me. Now I'm gonna jump up on this rail here. You don't need to do this, but they've got assault rifles and I'm just trying to preserve health here. I'm gonna fear state them out of the way of the doorway so that I don't take too much damage, and hopefully they won't hit me. I guess I can do this. There you go. Awesome. So, now we are into Capex Inner Sanctum. I said that was his Med Labs facility. This is his Science Labs. This is where he's hiding out because we've chased him apparently, even though he was chasing us, if you remember. We've caught him and he's kind of trapped in here now, and we have a few tricks up our sleeve to avoid killing Capex. First one is we're going to do a little geomod strat to skip a walk around. And that will basically serve as maybe like a 5 to 10 second time save instead of walking around and jump. But to do that, we need to get this guy out of the way because he kind of, yeah, he'll die. So save load kind of resets his AI, and then there we go. Just through the wall there. Like I said, some things are geomoddable, some things are not geomoddable. It just depends what the developers set the parameters for at the time. We're gonna do a fear state here. Works for me. And then I'm going to pull out a normal gun because there's some glass I'm going to need to break in a second.
Traitor!
So this is Capex room. Now, basically the idea of this is you're supposed to go into his room, kill his 4 guards down here, and then he drops out of the big tube there, and he sends these like homing missiles at us, which are really quite scary. They hurt so much. Like I think a lot of people when they played this on PlayStation 2 or PC back in like early 2000s, like this would have been their turn off point, I think. But as I explained earlier, the flamethrower is really, really good for killing him. So yeah, that's why we would pick up the flamethrower. But here, we just out of bounds, out we go. But the other problem is in this area, you cannot exit the level unless Capex is killed. This is another change we have made to the RF Speed Edition version of Red Faction instead of Vanilla. Is there is a button on the other side of this airlock. Now on the inside, you can actually get inside it and it is an active button, but you cannot hit the outside version of it without having killed Capex. So what the Speed Edition does is it basically allows for the button to be pushed from the outside. And yeah, there is a huge skip coming up, but I will take a breath for a second because there's a bit of time between here and there.
Would you like me to jump in?
Yeah, sorry, I should have...
Oh, no worries.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
just wanted to double check. So yeah, if you would like to donate to community during this awesome run, you can visit our Tiltify campaign at speedromizer.live/donate. You can also find the donate link below the stream and in chat by typing !donate. All your donations are sent directly to community, and there are some different incentives and polls to help encourage some fun run shenanigans later in the marathon.
Alright, so anyone familiar with Red Faction and this level in particular knows that there's a jeep there, and we're supposed to take the jeep, and it's a bit of an auto-scroller. The jeep takes you to the bottom of the canyon, you then sort of climb your way up the bottom end of the canyon, you loop around and you jump on a gondola type thing, and you sort of cut across the top of the level. We don't want to do that. That's slow. And this is both the biggest geomod skip in the game and one of the single biggest time saves in the game. Normally you'd climb up into that tower there, but because we can't kill anyone and there's a guard in that tower, we went a little bit of a different way. And we're gonna grenade our way up here instead. Which I think that's... No, that's... Yeah, another one. Okay. Yeah, this is a very... Maybe I need another one, actually. Just safe than sorry. I think I'm making it worse. I'm definitely making it worse. I'm gonna use a remote charge instead. These things happen. There we go. Okay. So now I'm up. So, as I said, this is the single biggest skip for geomod in the game, but it's also like the most punishing if you fail it. So, basically, everyone does this differently. I use this little bright spark on the wall here and just start blasting. Basically, you are trying to cut a path through the entire level here by going up and coming out. Just there's a little dip in the area where the level ends. So where the gondola comes across, you're basically exiting the gondola and you run down like a little decline ground. And if you look to the left of that, there's like a little hole in the ground where it's lower than usual. That's where we're going to come out if this works. We hope for the best here. And yep, there we go. And that's canyon skip. And there's the gondola wire right there. That is one of the best time skips, time saves in the entire run. And that is doable in both the vanilla and this version. It's not a modification we did to the level or anything.
Now for the hard part.
So this is Calm Tower. Now there is a big change in this level for RF speed versus vanilla. There's an out of bounds we're going to do. It's a very cool out of bounds, but unfortunately on the base game version I can't do it. To do it, you need to exit out of a ceiling, which has, for some reason, a random invisible wall there, which means you've got to like do some save load shenanigans, and I just could never get the timing right. In this, we've removed the ceiling, because it's just easier for everyone involved. Now, ordinarily, what you would do is you go to the top of the tower, you would hit a button, and then you would exit out the bottom of the tower. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little elevator clip here by save loading, and then crouching and open the door. And hopefully... Oh, no. Okay, I saved it. Hopefully this works. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Hang on. If that Azir starts flying, we're in trouble. Okay, we're good. So now I'm going to jump. Now we're out of bounds. This is the only Azir in the game which you technically aren't supposed to fly, but it's the only Azir in the game which has 50 health. And can't fire any of the weapons, which is an interesting thing. But you're not supposed to be able to get to it, but they let you enter it if you get to it for some reason. And now I can explain portaling. Portaling in Red Faction is how the game renders things, but what it means is if you have a vehicle or an enemy inside the same room of the load room when you portal, so if you load into the next level in that portal room, the objects will come with you. So in this case, the ship came with us, and it allows us to skip the entirety of this level and just go to the next area. And there you go. Say thank you, Asir. This is trams. Now I'm going to do something here, and I will explain the trick shortly, but I'm just going to try and get some health here.
Death to miners.
Nice. Alright, awesome. So, if you remember from the Fear run from before, there was an elevator section which kind of worked like an auto-scroller, where you can just stay in it, the game wants you to go out, interact, level, come back in. This is basically the same idea. There is a tram section, it's kind of an auto-scroller, the game wants you to sort of interact with its stuff. We're not going to do that, we're just going to stay, as you can see, you see what we did, we clipped into the front of the tram there, and basically that allows us to clip back out of the tram. Now normally you wouldn't leave the tram till the bottom of the level, but we discovered that there is a way in and out, clipping, and what we're basically going to do is we're going to hop into a different tram when we come across it, and that's basically going to carry us to the end of the level. And normally in the vanilla game, this saves like 5 seconds or so, but in RF Speed Edition, we actually allowed us to basically walk to the end of the game, the end of the level, because in the base game, the tram is the level trigger's end. You have to be in the tram for that level to end, but in this version, we allowed it to just walk. So, very scary section here. Hang on. Okay, nice. And now we're in the other tram, and now we are also trying to catch the rebellious and protagonist Parker. We are now one with the defenders of Ultor and the Corporation. By the way, I didn't explain the differences between the guards and the mercs, so I'll take this opportunity to do that now. Basically, the mercs are the secondary antagonists of the game. They have a leader who we don't see until the very end of the game, but we won't see her at all. Main difference to note is that while they can be fear-stated by the remote charges, I can't stick a remote charge on them, so I can't like send them running permanently. So this is where the change is. So normally we would get out there, but I'm going to get out here, and they're going to die by getting rammed into a wall. So this is the main change. So now we can run down here, and the level will end. And this basically skips getting out of the tram, running into that level, killing a bunch of enemies, hitting a button, and then it's like a time sequence where you've got to run back to the tram and get out before the countdown ends, but we're skipping all of that to just walk down here. It's important that about this pillar I turn to the left, because where you're facing dictates where you face when the level loads, and left is facing forward. Which doesn't matter because I managed to keep going right into this chair anyways. But now we're on to Ancient Riverbed. This is... You have got plenty of time to interrupt me here in a second, because this is the slowest level in the game. But I'll explain briefly what it's about, and then I'll let you take over. Basically, this is like just a big long canyon run down to the bottom of the level. It takes about 2 minutes. And there's nothing we can really do to speed it up. There's no fancy tech. It is just run as straight a line as possible. So if you've got anything to talk about, go for it. You're all go.
Sounds good. And how far into the game do you think we are?
I am coming to the last sort of parts after this level.
All right, fair enough.
There's like 3 or 4 levels after this.
Sounds good. Well, I'm excited to see them.
Proper 3 or 4. Like it's kind of awkward, but it's like there's like 3 main levels and like 7 or 8 like individual skills.
Sounds good. Well, you're watching Speedromizer. It's a charity marathon with a twist. What you submit is not always what you run. Accepted runners are randomly assigned a game from someone else and have 90 days to learn their respective game. If that sounds like an awesome concept to you, make sure you join our Discord at speedromizer.live/discord. And if you would like to help with future events, we open volunteer signups before every event. They are announced in our Discord, the aforementioned. So keep an eye on our server if you're interested in helping run the show. Most roles also do not require experience, so we would be happy to have you even if it's your first time.
I will quickly mention that if I'm very clever, you will witness the only version of friendly fire in this run. Yep, there you go. Here you go. He didn't like being grenaded, so he killed his own teammate.
I would not enjoy being grenaded either. Just throwing it out there.
But yeah, there's a little bit level of that, so if you got anything else to say, go for it.
Sounds good. Speaking of volunteering, you may recognize that we call them volunteer signups and not applications. This is because if you, as a member of our community, offer to give your time, we will try as much as possible to let you be involved. We always love people helping us, and we create an inclusive process for anyone to be part of this event, no matter their experience level. That is why it's called a sign up and not an application. How are we looking?
Yeah, that's us at the end of the level.
Perfect timing.
There you go. So, as I said, that is a really, really dumb, slow section of the game where it's just running forward, it's boring, blah blah blah. Now, I've pulled the riot shield out here because you might be noticing the blue lasers flying around. Those lasers are one-shot kills, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to try and block this one here. Okay, I didn't need to block it, but it's effectively, if the shield takes the railgun hit, it basically breaks the shield, but I don't get damage from it. So that's really just me basically saying I don't want to get hit by it, but some of the rails, most of the rails in this game are not a 50-50 when you're on easy, which is the difficulty we're on, but that one is. So, safe than sorry. Now we're on to Space Station. Now again, I will caution, there's going to be a lot of screen shake in this level, so just be advised. I'll tell you when it's coming, but fair warning, it's quite aggressive in parts. So just, yeah, in case you get motion sick or whatever, I'll let you know when you can look away. But the first part of this level is button pushing, so we're going to go into this area, and they're going to try and keep them out of our way as much as possible. Now what we're going to be doing is, effectively, you're supposed to go up to the top of the space station, unlock the bottom half, and then blow up the reactor, and then basically the bottom half unlocks the escape pod. We're going to go out of bounds instead, and avoid the locked door. Now, here is the screen shake, so fair warning, it's about to start now, so yeah. It can be a little intermittent, so it can be a little bad to deal with, but yeah, this is quite a clever out of bounds. We used to swim, but we found a way to sort of like do it without swimming, which is kind of cool with the visual out of bounds now. And now I'm going to do another out of bounds here. Now the reason we're doing this out of bounds is because there's another 50-50 rail at the bottom of the ladder. And basically, it's kind of like, it's a little bit clustery. Like, it's very hard to like get around them. If you save load, they get stuck, and yeah, it's you kind of can't really get past them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an out of bounds here at the top of the ladder. What this basically allows me to do is just skip having to deal with that entirely. This might be a good one. Might have to wait for the screen shake to stop sometimes just to sort of like realign. We're almost there. Almost out. It's just a bit finicky, I guess. Not want to work. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to float. Hopefully not take too much damage. There we go. Oh my god, I fell in the wrong hole. Okay, that's the wrong level, I thought. Never mind. Oh dear. I'm not very good at this out of bounds because you do it so infrequently. Okay, there we go. There's it. So there's the railgun. But we skipped him. Nice. And that's the end of Space Station. So now we're on Crash Site, which we're back on Mars now. This is one of the levels where having zero armor doesn't actually do anything. It does in the next area, but not in this area for some reason. So again, I think this was just an oversight.
Is the screen shake over then?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the screen shake's over. Yeah. We're back. So I saved a couple of rockets here intentionally because there's a geomod strat. It's the final geomod strat of the game. To just skip up here. If I can hit it. I don't... Okay, yeah, I took too much damage there. So we're going to skip up here. And there we go. Okay, so the reason we're coming up here is because this level's quite unique. Basically, this level has a bunch of overlaps, and it basically circles back around on top of itself. Every opposing route is shorter than the other one. So the bottom route was faster, then the top route was faster, now the bottom route's going to be faster, and then the top route technically is faster. But the last top route is a little bit slower, but because we're running Pacifist, there's a lot of guards, basically, that we're going to avoid by taking the top route anyway, so it's just better for our safety, basically. The important thing to note about this level is it is the final level where we have all these lovely weapons, even though we've not used any of them. It's kind of, you can see them go, so I'll kind of cycle through them for anyone who hasn't seen Red Faction, just to see some of the weapons. Shotgun, sniper, here's the flamethrower. Yeah, here's our favorite remote charge. There's the grenade and the rocket launcher. Yeah, so outside of that, there's assault rifles, there's HMGs, there's SMGs, there's precision rifles. But we didn't pick any of those up. But yeah. So this is a little finicky of a section. The buttons for the triggers. So you'll notice for most doors, I've kind of just walked up to the doors and either I've went through them or I've hit a button and gone through them. Unfortunately, with these doors, it's a little different, and you can see that's what I was avoiding. That is a gauntlet to get through on Pacifist. So, yeah. You have to walk right up to the buttons to hit them. So if anyone is familiar with Half-Life, you'll know that in the middle of Half-Life, there is a section where all of your weapons get taken off you and you're basically captured. This may look familiar to you, but we're going to do something a little fun, if I can get it to work. We're going to try and sneak a weapon past the guards. And we snuck it past the guards, but it doesn't actually work. It's mostly just... The only reason I wanted this is so I had a crosshair. Basically, it doesn't actually work. Normally we would do this with the precision rifle, because the first enemy that comes... The first ally that comes along here is going to drop a precision rifle, and we would just take that. It skips the sort of the draw animation. Just nothing time save-wise, but it's a little bit faster. Hang on.
Some mercs running around, moving stuff. Don't know what it is, but I bet Red Faction!
Oh yeah, the rebellion is on. Let's get out of prison. So yeah, we're gonna do the final load warp. Well, sorry, the second final load warp. If I don't get stuck in it, he just kind of locked me into the wall there. We're gonna walk in here, hit this button, and that's a load warp. So the reason I wanted a crosshair is because there's a couple more out of bounds, but one of them I wouldn't have a weapon for, and that's kind of bad. But effectively, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load warp into the next area. This whole area is about, yeah, there's another 50-50 rail, but I don't have a riot shield to protect me from him, so I'm at the mercy of whether he'll just kill me here or not. Yeah, wow, 3 for 3, that is new. You know what? I'm just gonna go past him. Oh, no, I'm not gonna pass it! He's, Oh, there we go, he missed. Okay. So, basically, with this level, you're supposed to meet with the scientist who's been, the technician who's been talking with us for the entire game. His name is Hendrix. But we're not gonna do that. We're instead going to jump through that level. Now, this is technically out of bounds. It's still in bounds, but it's outside of the area we're supposed to be in currently. Now, this is another change from the base game. What you're supposed to do in this level is you're supposed to turn off the generators, wait for the technician to meet you, and then kill a bunch of enemies so that he doesn't die, and then eventually he will proceed through the level. You have to kill enemies and turrets to make sure that he can proceed through the level. But in this game, in this version of the game, we've basically done it so that we don't need to wait for him, and we can just run to the end without him, but that does mean going out of bounds to get there. And basically, this is a long room where there will be 4 guards, and there will be a couple of turrets, and he will not enter this room until they are all dead. And he comes to this little corner here, and he opens the door, which we're about to pass. But again, that's a lot slower. It may not look slower, but it is because we have to wait for him back in the other area once we turn the generator off. So I'm not really sure in the time save. We only really do it in these kind of special runs, so I don't really have an optimization of like time difference, but it does save time. And again, we didn't have to wait for him. So this is the part where he's going to open the door for us. And as you can see, we now have the final antagonist of the game, Masako. Don't worry about her. I don't. I'm not going to be seeing her. We're not going to be talking to her. But she does kill Hendrix. Here you go. So, say bye to Hendrix. Now, this is the sort of last couple of levels of the game. Oh, I did get a gun. Nice. So I can shoot this window, and this is the HMG. I'm shooting those windows just in case I need a quick exit. I'm gonna sit in here for a second. Yep, and I'm out. See you later. We're gonna be getting into the Asir, the fighter, for the last time. And basically, we're at the end of the run. There's going to be one more out of bounds, and then there's going to be like a bomb minigame, randomized pattern defusal, and that will be time. But effectively, we've got one more out of bounds to do to skip the entire pathway through the level and to skip the final boss fight. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to park our fighter right here on this corner. And we're going to save load, and we're going to basically try and guide the Asir out of the corner. It's, this is nothing compared to the one that I had to fight with earlier. And there you go, out of bounds, there you go. And that's basically the run. Pacifist, yeah. So yeah, Red Faction is a really fun game. I think it's an overlooked game from the PS2 era. I think, you know, there's a lot of love for this game. The community is very strong. There's a Discord for the... You'll see the Discord when I finish the game here. But give me a second, and we will hit time. So just... time will end once I defuse the bomb. So here we go. As I said, it's a completely randomized run. Pattern. So I just got a guess, basically. What is this code? What? Time! Time, that's time! What?
Counting down.
What was that code? That code's stupid! But yeah, that's Red Faction, and like I said, the community is super welcoming. We've got a multiplayer community, we've got a modding and the map development community, we've got the speedrun community, and as I said, I'll pull this up. So here is the Discord. And we host the entire Red Faction community there. I'm not always going to say it's the exact full community, but it's sort of a centralized hub. So we've got Red Faction 1, Red Faction 2, Red Faction Guerrilla, Red Faction Armageddon. We support all 4 games from there, from our website, factionfiles.com. We've got all the mods, the maps, all the extra things. I see everyone in chat now that I've managed to tab in. But yeah. So yeah, this specific mod was done by Goober. He's in the chat. He started the super mod for the speedrun series, and also one of the lead admins for the Faction Files community. But yeah, that's Red Faction, and it was a real pleasure to be here. Keep being awesome, have fun with all your runs with the coming event, and keep supporting awesome stuff. Thank you very much. That's me, unless there's anything else you want to say to me.
Well, Intharth, because we did come in under estimate, I know you said you're kind of doing an exhibition because the original runner couldn't quite make it, unfortunately. Do you want to give them a shout out and maybe talk about what their run would have been different quickly?
For sure. So yeah, Legitrum, I think that's the name. Legitru, or yeah, sorry, however you say the name, I'm a little fuzzy. Yeah, so I submitted inbounds. I'm gonna like exit out of this music because it's quite loud. So I submitted inbounds, and basically with inbounds, you would still get to do all of those geomod tricks, but you wouldn't get to do any of the corner clips, or except for the box clip, because I did mention that it was an inbounds trick. But the game would be a little bit longer, so you would have to do more of the intended route of the game, but it's still a very friendly, casual run. And again, inbounds is quite, I'd say it's simple, but not like, it's not like completely simple. The canyon tunnel, for example, that's in inbounds. It's quite hard. Everyone has to feel their own sort of strategy to get up that tunnel. Mine's is different to everybody else's. But yeah, the inbounds run, you would have to fight all the bosses. You wouldn't, except like the ones for the geostrat, like the robot and the snake. You would still get to like slide around the wall there. But outside of that, it's still mostly a straightforward run between out of bounds, any percent, and inbounds. And yeah, it's a huge beginner-friendly speedrun. So if anyone does like Red Faction, you've just been hit by a nostalgia wave, or you just like the look of the game now and you want to get into it, Inbounds is a super beginner-friendly speedrun, and I would recommend everyone check it out. I think that's good.
Yeah, and time difference between this and that with the out of bounds.
I'd say Inbounds current world record is a 45. At any percent, the world record is just under 40 minutes. I think it's 39:58, and that's a very skillful run. That not only are they able to get out of that comm tower elevator ceiling with the extra invisible wall, but they also do another out of bounds in the abandoned mines ventilation section, which skips that long elevator that you saw me sitting in. That's a very cool skip as well. It's very very difficult to pull off. But yeah, it's about, I'd say, 4 to 5 minutes difference. I think that's it. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us, Intharth. This run was amazing, and we look forward to future runs by you at the marathon. Maybe not this one, it looks like, but maybe the next one. We're going to transition.
For sure.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to move over to kind of our between run break and talks here, and we will be coming up with Pepper Grinder. Pepper Grinder is our final run of today's Speedromizer 6, so I look forward to that. Thank you again, Intharth.